Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Slamhub Wrestling. Myself, Suprit, and this is your AEW Rampage review for October 8, 2021. I'm joined by Abby Maniac here. What you think about this Rampage here? At a wrestling standpoint, it was really good. I enjoyed it. What you think about it?
Agreed. I also had a similar, experience with regards to this week's Rampage. Uh, I thought that it was a pretty good show. If you compare it to the previous weeks, it was, you can say, a level higher. Yes, it is not at par with the first two or three, I guess, Rampage shows. But yes, if we compare it to the previous editions of Rampage, absolutely this was a better show. And I guess you can give the lion shares of credit to the opening bout between Punk and Danny Garcia. That was brilliant.
And I wanted to ask your thoughts on Dynamite because newsflash, there was no review for Dynamite because we actually recorded it, but Zoom fucked up. So there you go.
Oh,
But if you wanted my thoughts on the Dynamite anniversary show, it was pretty good. We also had some great wrestling there also, and also the great moment of Hangman Page returning and winning the ladder match. That was a cool moment. And very, if you want to talk about the underrated parts, they are really doing a great job with MJF and Darby Allen. That is an intriguing story. So pretty much a enjoyable show. What do you think about it?
yeah. Regarding Dynamite, the MJF Darby Allin storyline, yes, indeed, I find it, very, you can say, entertaining, intriguing. It gives the, vibes of the Attitude Era, the ruthless aggression era of WWE. And I am pretty happy that MJF and Darby Allin have taken upon themselves to invest in the storyline rather than just give the match with 1 week's notice with the just one promo that happened in the ring. I'm very glad that they're extending this much awaited match, and they're investing in it, and they're getting the people invested in that. So I'm pretty happy with that. And you know uh, I guess that the masked assailants, yes, it is very evident that it is the Pinnacle, but they can take that to a different direction also. If they want to insert the uh, Cody Rhodes angle, probably they can
Oh,
do that too if they want to. If they want to insert an arc, for example, that who was driving the limo. So something they can do that if they want to. And regarding Cody Rhodes, I saw you know a video from Tranquilo Club on YouTube that they gave a pretty great uh, you know story, review with regards to his character and how it has come about from the start till right now of AW. So it is pretty intriguing, and I would like to suggest that you should check it out, you Suprit as well, and every viewer, listener should. And it gives thing that probably the things that he's doing, it seems that they are being done on purpose, that his long awaited heel turn and what the things that he is doing, at his his entrance and the very, in your face, pyro, and the thing that he did with his long, cape at the recent Grand Slam show, that it is being done probably, on purpose. So, and I probably am thinking that this narrative of, you know, that him being out of the elite and not being friends with the elite, that also probably is a work. That is also being done on purpose. That could also be a thing that, you know, right now, the discussion can go probably as far as, what can you, probably say at this point. But, this thing was started at Full Gear, I guess 2 years ago, when, he put his world title, future on the line against Chris Jericho. So, and he lost. So that is probably the thing that would probably, go on the reverse when he turns on the fans. And, probably something can happen with Cody Rhodes at the Full Gear pay-per-view. Something pretty big. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, and we'll have to wait and see. Who knows whether he even turns heel or not.
Yes. You see, he is prolonging this thing, and he's doing it on purpose there because he wants, that, the hate to be real, from the fans, that it should not be he is not trying to be the cool heel. He is wanting to be a real old school heel who is hated from the fans. And in my opinion, he's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, on the topic of Cody Rhodes, did you know the real reason why Arn Anderson was decided as the head coach of the Nightmare family?
I guess not.
It's because he wanted to call his own shots.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. I'm pretty disappointed at you, Abby. You didn't get my joke.
Oh,
Anyways, man. Everybody is no selling my jokes this week. Let's get down to business, and that's the review. So, on this week's Rampage, we had CM Punk versus Daniel Garcia. We had a AEW tag team title match with the Acclaimed and Lucha Bros. And in the main event, we had Ricky Starks and Brian Cage. So this was for the FTW Championship. It was decided in a Philadelphia street fight and so much more. But before that, if you are new to Slamhub Wrestling, then make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Check out our other content. Links provided in the description below. But before we get down with the actual review, I wanted to get this out of the way. This is regarding one Will Ospreay. So he was in the news, and it came about because of a interview with Chris Jericho. So I think he brought up Will Ospreay's name. Like, he was talking about the beginning parts of AEW, how he contributed, the first 3 to 6 months. I'm speaking about Chris Jericho. So he also stated out that he reached out to Will Ospreay, when AEW was coming up, whether he was interested in, coming into the company. But then he was still in a contract with New Japan. So that didn't became, a thing. So I brought this up, now also in this interview, same interview, stated that in the future there is a possibility that Will Ospreay could be all elite. So what do you think about Will Ospreay? And is he? Yeah, it definitely is a great fit for AEW. But do you think it will be a thing?
you know, in the distant past, Will Ospreay was, you can say, he was stereotyped as a, you know, let's be honest, flippy, shit, in the distant past, I'm talking about. If you, his clips had gone viral with, Ricochet, and as you have also said, that he has changed his style, since then, and he has, turned himself into a much better, rounded wrestler, an overall performer, and he has also since then, became a world champion in New Japan Pro Wrestling, IWGP World Champion. So that intrigues a lot, to the overall, scheme of things. And Chris Jericho saying that, that AEW is interested in, and was interested in Will Ospreay, and Will Ospreay is, close buds with CM Punk. That is also, pretty, pretty public, if people know, or they have been following social media for the past, years, when CM Punk was also not a part of professional, wrestling, all in all. So, it is very possible that Will Ospreay can be a part of All Elite Wrestling, or can compete with the likes of the roster of AEW. And if New Japan Pro Wrestling is able to sign him, that re-sign him, that it would take a lot of money and also a lot of opportunity, obviously. But as of this point, I would think that chances of that would be pretty slim, of New Japan Pro Wrestling re-signing possibly. But
So
yes,
don't think they
please.
will resign him.
They would not be able to
Yes.
match the offer which Tony Khan would be betting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So on that note, there is another line he said, like working in New Japan, it's great, but at the end of the day, working in America in a big league promotion is far much better at this point. And about him going to AEW is the possible destination, because here's my theory, here's the story. Remember couple of months ago when he got injured, and there was also reports that he may be done with New Japan and he could be heading to WWE for NXT UK.
yes,
Yeah, when that report came out, I was thinking, so Will Ospreay, even as a casual fan of that promotion, that he's so in rings, he works a very stiff style, which is very hard on your body compared to a Kenny Omega similar situation. So I kind of thought about so he has done possibly everything in New Japan. He could come to a WWE and make big money. Even it doesn't matter if he works NXT UK or NXT in the US. This was months ago. Now that NXT 2.0 is a thing, Triple H is not in charge, the WWE mentality is very different now. I don't think that's going to be a thing as of now. Maybe in 2 years, WWE becomes another option again. But as of now, the mentality of WWE, it's not a safe place to go. Everyone wants to go to the cool place that is AEW. So it's a possibility. And who knows, in 2 years, he will be ending up on a Dynamite or Rampage, as a official AEW guy.
yes, pretty possible. And with regards to you saying the NXT mentality, agreed. As of this point, they probably, would not be as open. Hmm.
Like anyone, if this was, Abby, this was 2018, 2017, even
Hmm.
2019, him going to NXT would have been a huge thing, and he would have been pushed to the top. Triple H would have taken super care of him.
Agreed. Now that yes, as you were saying, they have, now they're changing, their approach, and they're thinking, like that, this India style is not, drawing, money, or they're not drawing ratings under our umbrella. So we would have to, change our, perspective, and we have to go to the formula which was successful for us in the past, when we were, running the shows with the likes of, OVW and FCW and stuff like that, when we were, making our own stars, and that time. So, let's see. Possibly it is, successful for WWE. So, we would be wanting, both the companies to succeed, irrespective of the fact that how they are approaching, the wrestling, aspect of things.
But as
Both
of
being
now,
successful would be great for the wrestling industry as a whole.
will Ospreay still be doing stuff within New Japan? I think he still has goals, even though he's done pretty much everything now. He also got the world title. What else do you need? Maybe he has some goals. He wants to achieve some opponents. We'll have to wait and see. But moving on, we have, let's get down with the review. So they kicked off Rampage with CM Punk versus Daniel Garcia. CM Punk stated at Dynamite that this is very unfinished business with Daniel Garcia, who before the All Out pay per view was, trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? He almost cost him his first debut match at All Out. That's the whole story they are going with. So this match was really fun, and like the previous CM Punk matches, this was also another entertaining one. What do you think about it?
Uh, I thought that this was a pretty good match. I really enjoyed this match. I thought that probably this was the best CM Punk match I have seen in his current, run. This was the best match, in my opinion. I can understand, the his transitions were not as, fluid or smooth and stuff like that. But overall, if you, in my opinion, if I compare it with the previous matches that he had, and this match, and the overall story which they were trying to tell, I thought that it was a good match, and also they had the time to tell that story, and it was a pretty good match. In my opinion, I really enjoyed this match, and uh, the pre-match promo was pretty good, with the likes, the Daniel Garcia and 2.0 really, were ruthless, and they were on point with the shit that they said with regards to CM Punk. I am a Punk fan, but still, they were pretty good. Uh, and and other than that, as you said, Daniel Garcia and 2.0, they were trying to ruin his first match, and how to make a name for themselves, attack the biggest fish in the fucking ocean, and that is what they did, and they got this match. And in the first half, Punk showed his submission prowess against a submission specialist, in Danny Garcia. Uh, in the second half, Danny Garcia and 2.0 took control when they just went to the commercial break, and Danny Garcia attacked both the knees of CM Punk. He, wanted to fucking handicap him, and he wanted to, you can say, stop him from moving and get his moves. His being CM Punk, and other than that, you know, Danny Garcia did, uh, you know, fucking great job, and Punk also sold uh, to perfection. So all in all, pretty good match.
So you stated about the pre-match interview with Mark Henry. That was really good. And I have 2 points, something about 2.0's, what's his name? Matt Lee. Bro, he talks like Randy Savage. And when he sounds pretty cool as well. Sounds unique, to be precise. So
Great.
in this interview, so Punk was, Mark Henry said about, CM Punk, walking out of the pro wrestling business, something like that. So Punk corrected Mark Henry, like he didn't come back to the pro wrestling business. The pro wrestling business came back to him, something like that. And he called 2.0 the Nasty Boys little brothers. So that was hilarious. So let's get to the match. The match, like I said, was really good. Like Punk could go, into a very pure technical style. Daniel Garcia is great at that, but he told the story. Like in this, the story was that Daniel Garcia was going for the submissions and targeting the knees, and the Punk really worked smart. So there was one point where Punk tried to make a big comeback, and Daniel Garcia was targeting the knees and the legs. So he was doing that again, was going for a single leg or something. Punk did nothing else, just a simple knee lift and stopped him in his track. That was really great. Punk pulled out his old school move, the Pepsi twist, and that got a near fall. Um, so what happened was 2.0 were the ones who kind of helped Dana Garcia in the beginning, and that's how the injured knee came about in this match. So there was another spot where Punk did get revenge on 2.0, like he hit a big dive on 2.0 and Garcia in the outside. Crowd is loving this match. So let's get to the finish here. So CM Punk, always, was thinking about going for the GTS, but it didn't happen. So what happened was he hit a pile driver, and all of a sudden locked in the Anaconda Vice and got a submission victory. And there you go, CM Punk with his third victory here in AEW. Really fun match. Daniel Garcia is having a solid rookie year, if you want to call it, in AEW in wrestling. That is great for them. 2.0 is finally coming into their own as something on AEW television. That's great as well. Really good stuff.
Absolutely. They're whenever they are competing, Daniel Garcia and 2.0, they are really maximizing their minutes. They are really shining through. And if they haven't been signed yet, they would surely be in the near future.
They are signed. 2.0, right?
Yes, 2.0. Yes, 2.0 is signed. I guess Danny Garcia is not signed yet.
At this point, he has to get signed. Like if just for CM Punk.
Yes, agreed.
But sticking to the CM Punk topic, we see an interview with Matt Seidel, Dante Martin, and Lio Rush. And Is it just me, or is Lio Rush going into a very managerial role from the get-go?
Yes. Yes, he is. I guess they have brought him in for a managerial role right now. I guess, previously they tried, for a wrestling, thing, and probably he could not have gotten cleared or something like that. Probably something happened. So, we remember that he took retirement, from professional wrestling, him being Lio Rush. So probably now they are bringing him in a managerial role. That he is charismatic. He is gifted on the microphone. So we they can use him on television, and you know we have heard complaints on Twitter. I don't know if you have or not. There are some people complaining about AW being a you know white man show or something like that. That all the people who are on top are white or something like that. So probably that is also a way to counter that. And also on Raw, we are seeing the hurt business being reformed again. What is the reason? I don't know. Probably they. I had heard. I guess from on the K100 podcast from I guess Billy Bhatti. He said that they distanced the other people from Bobby Lashley because they thought that Bobby Lashley could be on his own, uh, being a world champion when he was at that time, but then they paired them up again because they want him to be booked and be a character, a strong character on television and something like that. They are probably booking him some show, some angle, something like that. Probably it was something to do with the Bloodline or the New Day. I don't know, but something of that sort. So they needed a strong, group, and how to make Bobby Lashley, strong. Then go back to that. So with regards to Lio Rush, uh, Lio Rush is great, on the microphone, and having him on television would be great. He was great with Bobby Lashley in the past on WWE television. So he would be a welcome addition in my opinion.
Yeah, Lio Rush is great and all, but please don't turn him into yet another not broken, big money mat.
Agreed, agreed.
Yeah, but what happened here in this interview, like Matt Seidel is not very keen of Lio Rush. Like Lio Rush stated on Dynamite, I guess, he mentioned Dante Martin. He really think that Dante Martin is a really good asset. And Matt Seidel wasn't liking Lio Rush's tactics here. So Rush, he kind of throws an offer to Matt Seidel, and that offer is that he will be kind of uh, trying to have this match happen, that is CM Punk versus Matt Seidel for next week. So Seidel was a little keen on that one. And there we go, man. We are getting Matt Seidel versus CM Punk on next week's Rampage. Should be yet another fun TV match.
Agreed, agreed. I'm looking forward to it. And it just hit my mind right now that probably there is also this complaint. I do not know if this is only pertaining to the old school fans, or the I should not call it the Jim Cornette fans, but the old school fans, or the wrestling purists, that people who are of a you know stature or something like that of similar to that of Lio Rush or Marco Stunt, that they on television on your product, it doesn't look good when they are wrestling. There it has happened in the past. There is a reason as to why Marco Stunt is not wrestling. He is in a managerial role. There is a reason to that. It doesn't look good. That is their uh, mindset. uh, because that when your product is also being watched by the masses, the mass audience, the casual viewers who are not professional wrestling fans, that we professional wrestling fans, we can get that that Marco Stunt is wrestling the likes of Paul White or CM Punk or stuff like that. But when the masses watch that, it doesn't give a good impression to them of the product or of professional wrestling, and they are immediately tuned out. And there are clips of it has happened in the past, when Jurassic Express and FTR were competing, and we had seen when Marco Stunt was hitting FTR with the satellite tiaras and stuff like that. uh, with the wrestling purists, it doesn't bode well, and with the FTR's character too, it doesn't bode well. There is a reason as to why the product is slightly changing, and it is taking a more mainstream face. It has been taking to a mainstream face in the recent past. It has been taking to that role, and it is less indie-rific. It is more mainstream-esque, because now it is being catered to the whole world, and it is being catered to the likes you are seeing here in India, that India's TV deal got signed, and it is happening in various other countries as well. So that could also be a reason, that probably I'm just speculating. I'm not saying that it is, but I'm just speculating that that could also probably be a reason as to why Lio Rush is taking a managerial role instead of wrestling on television.
Yeah, I think you will wrestle at least occasionally here and there in AEW.
Let's see.
But moving on, we had a AEW Tag Team Championship match, or was it even for the AEW Tag Team title? At this point, I didn't even know.
It was.
So this was the Lucha Bros facing the Acclaimed, who are number 1 ranked in the tag team rankings, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
So this match, it went about 5 minutes or something, but it was good for what it was, I guess. Like, I get it that you didn't want to have a long match, considering this is the Acclaim. They are not that good in the ring, but for this 5 to something minutes, they did their job, gave a little short, little fun match, and there you go. You couldn't call it a dominant win for the Lucha Bros.
I thought that probably the time constraints were a factor for this match. They went like fucking 100 kilometers per hour in this match. Yes, it was a spot fest. It was a Lucha Bros match.
And yeah, like let's get into the highlights quickly. So the Acclaimed, they do their usual rap, and they mentioned Arn Anderson's name. Like it's like they compared Arn Anderson like they are packing heat like him, something like that. Entertaining stuff. So what happened was like they're like you said going 100 miles per hour. So what there was one point where the Lucha Bros were doing dives. So Phoenix, no sorry, Penta, he takes out Max Caster. Phoenix was about to take out Anthony Bowen's purse, but he gets hit by the boombox. So referee didn't see it. So from there, the Acclaimed were in control. So there was one point where they were exchanging super kicks, and as we get to the finish, it was the Lucha Bros. They hit their double team package power driver, maneuver. They get the win. Still, the AEW Tag Team Champions. Nothing much here, but according to what the Lucha Bros do next, I think we are having a 6-man on next week's Dynamite, or I think it's Dynamite. They are having a 6-man.
I guess they are defending their AAA tag team championship. I guess
Is it the
against Andrade and someone of his close friends. Someone.
is it that, or is it a 6-man? Because I kind of saw Andrade with the mask, guys.
No, it's Andrade with someone of his choosing, and versus the Lucha Bros, I guess, and it is for the AAA Tag Team Championship.
I'm a little confused. I tried to look it up, but who do you think these masked individuals could be? I have some names floating around in my head.
Masked individuals.
Should be
You're talking about this
the
this
surprised.
match regarding
Yeah, the surprised guys.
who the surprise guy is. Uh, no, but I don't have a clue at this point. No.
Yeah, it could be anyone. The way they are mentioning it, it could be anyone. It doesn't have to be, for example, Dragon Lee and Rush. It could be anyone.
Could be anyone. No. Agreed. Next week, in which city are they going?
They are going for Florida.
Florida.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Orlando or something.
All right. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Probably it could be.
I got it. So they are doing Dynamite and Rampage from Miami. And yeah, you are right. This is Lucha Bros and a mass tag team. So they are facing for the AAA World Tag Team Championship. There you go.
And if one person is Andrade and second would be his someone of his choosing.
It is mentioned here. It's a mass tag team, Friends of Andrade AEW.
All right, so Andrade is not competing.
Yeah. You see, you even you got confused here seeing the graphics.
Because the graphics were so quickly, taken because of the time constraints of this show that, it fucking, took away everything. Let's see, who they can be. Let's see.
Yeah, but main prediction is they drop the AAA Tag Team Championship, seeing how they are building it.
I don't know, man. I would not be, thinking that probably it is happening because, they just won the championship, and it is of the another promotion. So you know, I don't know, man. Because if they lose, that would also probably lower the credibility of the AEW Tag Team Championship, because they are holding that as well, and they are baby faces at this point. Unless it is a unless there are heel shenanigans involved and they lose, I don't see them losing. Right now, I don't see them losing because there isn't a strong story involved. I don't know, man. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see.
That is next week, but let's continue on with the review here. We had Jade Cargill versus Sky Blue. So this is in conjunction of the what do you call the announcement with the TBS Championship coming in, and both these ladies have given their names out, like they really want to get the want to be the inaugural champion. So this was a quick squash match. They tried to give some offense to Sky Blue, but at the end it was Jade Cargill. She hit the Jaded on Sky Blue to get the win. Their post match beatdown with Jade on Sky Blue, but here comes Thunder Rosa. She makes the save with a seal chair, nothing much. And I won't be surprised if Jade Cargill becomes the TBS champion, the first ever.
Same here. I am thinking as well that she would be the champion, and I guess probably the finals of this tournament that they are having, uh, that could be happening on the January 5th episode of Dynamite, which would be taking place on TBS, the debut on TBS.
So when do you start the tournament then?
They would be starting pretty soon, I guess, in 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know, probably. Yes, I guess 2 to 3 weeks they would probably be starting the tournament.
Hmm. But January is still far, far away, right?
Yes.
Let's wait and see. A tournament should be intriguing. See how they pull it off. But
Yes.
yeah, they did go through next week's card for both Rampage and Dynamite. Pretty good matches. They also talked about Full Gear will be bringing back the AEW World Championship, Eliminator, like we saw last year with Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega, won last year's World Title Eliminator, and then how the story goes. He beat Page, then he went on to beat Moxley for the championship. So they are doing the same thing here this year. But according to the World Title picture, where do you think the story goes here? So Hangman on Dynamite, he won the World Championship. Sorry, World Championship. I'm just tripping all over
The
the
chip.
place.
Chip.
The chip.
The chip.
So
Yes.
basically, it's the number one contender. So where do you go from here? So you do make Page versus Omega at Full Gear, right?
Uh, I don't know, man. They would be having, Bryan versus Omega first. So I guess they would be having Bryan Omega at Full Gear, and after that, they can have Page versus Omega, because he can hold on to the chip for a long time. Uh, it doesn't have an expiry date, and it doesn't need to be happening right now at Full Gear. So pretty much, and if you know they are booking a triple threat, I don't know. They would not be, because it is a singles opportunity. So he would not be, a mad or stupid guy But yes, if he is drunk, he can be, uh, you know, saying yes to a triple threat bout at the pay-per-view. So
But
let's see.
yeah, at this point we got a lot of questions. But the
Yes.
impression I got after watching Dynamite, like the Elite beat the Babyfaces team, which involved Bryan, Danielson. So I think they kind of slowly, put Bryan Danielson in the back burner. And now that Hangman Page, this is the fresh story here. You got the chip. You could be, getting this out of the way with mainly Page being crowned the champion. But I like the way you put it out. You can hold it off till after Full Gear.
Mm-hmm.
You can finish off the Bryan Danielson story first. Then when the concluding parts come, you can do this Page versus Omega thing, and then give the fans what they want. But still, pretty strange if you think about it. We had
Yes.
two types of world title, contention matches, like the casino ladder match and this eliminator tournament happening this close to each other.
Yes. Uh, the eliminator would be happening, would be starting in a few weeks. That is what the plan is.
Yeah.
And
Well,
the finals would be at Full Gear. Uh, that is their plan. Uh, you know, and if it is gonna happen, they this thing with Cody is also coinciding at Full Gear. If it happens, if they are booking, as you're saying that, you know, Hangman versus Omega is happening at Full Gear. They're doing it, but Hangman doesn't win it. Why? Because how would you piss off the fans to the highest degree?
mm,
Bring in Cody Rhodes and not let Hangman win the championship.
yeah, but Omega, we are like the fans are can take as Omega is the perfect villain in this story. So why bring in a Cody Rhodes?
To you're making him a complete villain or a heel turn for Cody Rhodes, and then you are also planting a seed for a future opportunity for Hangman Page to get the championship. Right now he has just returned for a championship opportunity, so you can prolong that thing that he will eventually win. The hero, you are invested in his journey. You want him to win the championship, but the thing is that when he wins, it is done. So now you are still invested in his journey, that it is prolonging, it is prolonging, it is prolonging, it is prolonging, that his journey has obstacles in his quest to finally be the champion. So that is the magic is, that the fans are invested in Hangman Adam Page. That is where I guess the money is. So now fans would be invested in him for the long haul. That is where they are going forward with. And then next would be I guess Cody Rhodes versus Hangman Page and Omega versus Bryan after this happens. And you are also planting a seed that in the future that Hangman Page would be challenging at one point for the world championship. But you are still invested in him. You are, and fans are more invested in him. That you want him to win the championship, and you are hating on Cody Rhodes. That fuck you. Why didn't you let him, win the championship? It was his time. Blah blah blah.
Let's wait and see. We all want the payoff to Hangman getting the world championship,
Yes.
but it sounds much sweeter if it's on the expense of Kenny Omega, because Omega is
Yes.
it's a tough mountain to climb. So if you conquers that mountain, that would be even bigger than just
Yes.
knocking off Cody Rhodes for the belt.
Yes. You are only prolonging that, eventual showdown between the two, and let's see uh, how they go about that.
But that's regarding Hangman Page. Let's quickly get into the main event, shall we? So this was for the FTW Championship. This is a Philadelphia street fight. So it is Ricky Starks versus Brian Cage. So this is, you could say, the culmination of this feud once and for all. We had, Mark Henry doing the, main event bit of, like they do for Rampages, getting the thoughts of both men. Brian Cage just hit a bunch of catchphrases. Appreciated that he was wearing the Canyon shirt. That was great. So let's get down to the main event. This match, it was okay, I guess. Like they were trying to have like just wrestling a hardcore style match from the beginning, but it took a while to get invested. But the investment part was really tough. Brian Cage isn't doing much as a babyface, and Ricky Starks is a heel, but he stands out from the bunch here. So, what's your overall thoughts of this match?
Uh, I thought that was a decent match, entertaining match. Nothing much, as you said, nothing special in this match, to be honest. Yes, agreed. It was due to the investment of the fans in the story, and in Brian Cage. To be honest, yes, this story and this eventual match, eventual showdown of this match. It has had you know. Uh, it has stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, and it has really killed its momentum, to be quite honest. And you saying the fans are not invested in Brian Cage, that is really it really says it all, to be quite honest. That really hurts the match. And what could be the reason, we can say at this point. It could be that he has not been in very intriguing storylines or something like that. And his mic time also is also his mic work also needs some work, so to speak. And something of that sort. And other than that, in this match, Cage started off hot, and as he should, because he's pissed off that Team Taz have stolen his championship. And the monster babyface started off great, but the chicken shit heel got his momentum, and he took control back with the weapons in play. And at one point, Hobbs and Hook also interfered at one point in the match, and at the end also they interfered, and they helped Ricky Starks get the victory. And that is all. It all rounded off, it got in to a close. And I guess probably, as you just said, that probably this is the end for this feud. And let's see, I guess good things would probably and hopefully should come for these two competitors in the future.
So yeah, so let's try to get down with this highlights here. So like you said, they were introducing weapons from the get-go. We see trash can lids, steel chairs, even a pole cue. That was funny. Uh, what and there was another point you just mentioned. Like we did get to see the involvement of the rest of the team Taz, and I liked what they were saying on commentary. Like there was this scenario, right? Ricky Starks is not able to put down Brian Cage. So, like, I think Brian Cage was about to end this match. Taz was on commentary. He's just losing his
Yes.
mind. He said, "Send Hobbs." And Chris Jericho, he responded, "Send Hobbs, send Hook." And then, listen, hear me out. And then Taz responded, "Yeah, send Hobbs and then send Hook." This was hilarious, man. Like, and Hobbs and Hook, they did get involved. They tried to take down Brian Cage, but Brian Cage, was able to get rid of both the men here. So Ricky Starks, he got hold of the FTW championship, and he knocks out Brian Cage with that. It's a big spear, and Cage would land on a pipe. So that looked a little awkward. Went for the pin, but was not able to, get the victory here. I think this is the way he won the previous encounter a couple of months ago, weeks ago. So the finishing, sequence was Hobbs and Hook get involved again. So this time Cage, loses all his focus. So Ricky Starks, with some help, was able to hit Brian Cage with the Rochambeau, and I loved it how he was able to pull it off. This looked great, and got the victory again. So this has to be the end of this Brian Cage team test slash Ricky Starks feud. So I don't know where Brian Cage goes. He has to come up with something new, something refreshing. They could do anything with Ricky Starks at this point. Maybe they do a CM Punk Ricky Starks, program that would be entertaining. But those are
Yes.
our overall thoughts on both the men and this feud.
Yes. Uh, they would probably be, going with Punk and Starks at this point.
And
Uh,
this has to lead toward a dream match between Punk and Hook, right? Did you see the sign they made on Dynamite? Punk fears Hook.
yes, yes, yes. I saw that.
That would be very fun to watch. But that was the review for Rampage, man. And before we leave, you had
I,
something to
ju-
add.
I just wanted to, discuss this point. It is really, bugging, or you can say it is very important with regards to, Rampage. With the last 2 weeks, Rampage being, is not being promoted as such on, from the networks. Here in India, it is not being, promoted from, that is Eurosports as much. This week there wasn't any, advertisement on social media. I do not know what is happening on cable, but on social media there was no social media post for Rampage. And last week there was a post for Rampage, but it had the the content which pertained to 2 weeks ago, which
Oh,
had the listing as AEW champions, Lucha Bros defending against Butcher and Blade, Anna Jay. I guess she was competing in singles action, something like that. So I guess what is happening with Rampage, I want to know from AEW. I'm not asking Eurosports, because Eurosports would be getting the video content, the content for advertisement from AEW. Because if Eurosports is not getting the advertisement content, so how the fuck would they you know put it out for the world to see and for us Indian folks to see?
I think there
So what
was.
is happening?
I think there was also
Yes,
one
please.
week where they even forgot to air Rampage.
Yes, I heard it. Yes, I saw some post on Twitter. Yes.
I think someone really needs to work on that one.
Mm.
But let's see, man. But see. So I think we are done with this review and stuff. Anything else you want to add?
Mm. No, nothing else, man. But just if AEW is serious about Rampage and Rampage programming, they need to get this shit in place. Because there are complaints from people and from social media as well, and obviously there would be the AW officials would not be pretty, I guess, happy with the numbers. And yes, the slot is not very favorable for Rampage, as it is 10 p.m. and it is post SmackDown. So many people are not you know uh, watching the show, and now we are seeing that very high stakes match, or you can say very star-studded matches are being advertised for Rampage. But the fact is the numbers are not for the United States are not uh, you know resulting in that. They are not growing. They're not growing.
I
And
wonder.
I don't,
I
and
wonder.
even in India,
Yeah. I
I do
wonder
not
if.
see many people watching.
Yeah. I wonder if things would look different if they move to Saturdays.
I don't know if they. Yes, it can. It can possibly, but the thing is, probably the only problem which I guess exists is the time slot for the United States. And here in India, I guess the regarding Rampage, the time is not fixed. That is what probably is the uh, reason, because it is a taped show. It is not being aired at the same time as the United States, because if you are in that place, if you are a network, why would you care? Air at the same time, because it is not live. If it is live, you would be airing at the same time. But if it is a taped show, you can air it at any other time. So why would you air it at the same time? And you know that the audience is also quite less at show. So why would you bother to air it at the same time? So Rampage needs to do something to get its shit together. I do not have any other thing to say. And I guess next week it is probably live. So I guess it would be airing
be fun
live,
to
and I
watch.
do not know. Yes, and I don't know with regards to Eurosports in India if they would be airing live or not Rampage, because I was of the knowledge that probably whenever they air live, they show it at the same time. Rampage as well. I know of Dynamite. Dynamite is being aired at the same time. But when I got to know that Rampage is not being aired at the same time when it's aired live, also, then I got a little, something that probably what is the reason or something like that. Could be the viewership, could be the prior engagements of the channel, Eurosport India. I don't know.
Or maybe I need to, reach out to my boy Jora Jol to fix everything.
Good. Good.
He will put
We
in
can. We
the
can.
word for us.
Yes. Surely, if it can, it should. Because many
Yes.
people, complain about that.
But anyways, man, hope things, they work on those type of stuff. But before we leave, where can these guys find you?
As you can connect with me on Twitter and Instagram at AbbeyManiac, and you can also connect with me on Facebook and LinkedIn as well.
And you can find Slamhub Wrestling on Twitter at SlamhubW, Instagram at Slamhub Wrestling. You can catch this review on Anchor and Spotify as well. This was the AEW Rampage review, and we'll see you guys next time.
What's left of the world?